Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Zen Zone. This is a safe space to discuss topics and situations and things that are going on in our lives to possibly address and heal and to ultimately transform your life. And a lot of the transformative work I've already done on myself, and I really feel led and called now to help others find a little more comfort, clarity, or confidence on their life's journey. And a lot of what I focus on is soul stuff that really is the key to really unlocking, I believe, unlocking further transformation and growth and success and abundance in your life when you can really dig down deep and address soul issues, because we are not just a body, which is our 3D self. We're not just a mind and our emotions, which is our 4D, but we're 5D and beyond. I study quantum physics, and all things like esoteric really fascinate me. There's so much science now about quantum physics and the power of the subconscious, and I've gone down a healing journey of I kind of just happened upon it by pain and suffering in my life and addressing unhealed traumas and wounds, and in doing that and allowing myself to go deep and ask myself why and how did I attract this and what needs to be healed to avoid it in the future. Like, I've learned, like, oh my gosh, like, I've healed a lot of my own traumas and unhealed wounds, and like they say, to heal the inner child. And I've got my little cozy coffee cup today, which is chipped. I really should throw it away, but I don't want to because it fits perfectly in with what we're going to talk about today. Today being the day to understand that life is a playground. It may not always feel that way, but even on a playground you can get bumps and bruises and scrapes and hurt feelings, but there's also lots of laughter and play and joy and happiness to be had as well. So today I want to talk about life being a playground and addressing like core beliefs is so important in that, recognizing that everything that we experience and people along the way is part of our playground as beings here, spiritual beings in a physical body having a human experience. And like, we are really the creators of our experience. And we may if we really were to be honest with ourselves, sometimes we like to play the victim, that we have no control, we have no say, there's nothing we can do, but really that's not true. We do have a lot to do about that. And if you're like me, and if you are called to this site in this video, that means you're a person who is willing to take a closer look at themselves and possibly address things that are hidden, or that you're numbing out, or that you're not showing the world, to be able to heal and transform and grow. So if you're not a person that wants to grow in any way, then this would not be for you. And if you don't like cuss words, I can't guarantee that I won't be using cuss words. Here's the decks that I'm using if you'd like to take a picture of them. I'm not going to repeat them all, but that rebel deck there on the bottom is the one that may reveal some curse words. It's pretty hilarious, and I swear now. So, and sorry, not sorry. So if that bothers you, definitely don't want to listen in. And know that you'll receive, I believe that you'll receive the wisdom and guidance that you need when you are ready to hear it. So if you're on this video, just know that there may be a tidbit of information that may help you. And if not, pop off. No harm, no foul. You do you, I do me. Like, it's all good. Okay. We all are connected. But we do have free will, so we don't need to be where we're not meant to be. We do have that choice. But a lot of us like to think that we don't, and that things just kind of happen to us without our involvement in any way. But I'm learning as I go on my own healing journey that is not true, that we actually have like a soul, and in that soul stuff comes blocks and like limitations because of core wounding from our childhood or even generationally passed on. There's so much information now about, in utero, a baby basically kind of getting, a lot of their mother's emotions and feelings, and that kind of being part of their DNA. It's so important to address those things. And there's so much more that we are uncovering about quantum physics and subconscious, and like in the studies that I'm doing in the course, I'm going to be a practitioner in like soul stuff and helping you really dive deep into the soul. And I can access the subconscious, but you can also do that too. We have the power within us to access our own soul information if we're willing to do that. And some people just don't know how, some people aren't willing. But if you're here, the message today that I really felt strongly guided to share was about basically digging deep and addressing unhealed wounds and traumas. And I've done this for myself to know how incredibly painful it can be to really not only address what's really going on, but it gets to a point where it's almost like worse not to address it, when it's just because your life has just become so much a mess, or things kind of falling all around you, or there seems to be you being a tornado that you can't stop, or just one by one people disappoint you, and it's like, okay, taking a closer look of like what's really going on. And if you're honest with yourself or willing to hear advice, let's get real that sometimes we struggle with surrendering to silence. I like to do past, present, future. So in the past, we may struggle with surrendering to silence and going, wow, this is actually, look at this beautiful cathedral. It's very dark though. This picture is very dark because there's a reason why we don't want to dig deep, because it can be really painful and we don't want to look at it sometimes, but it gets to usually most of us get to a point in our life where not addressing it becomes more painful. And if we get to that point where there's a breaking point, we all do, and there's like, you'll reach new levels of growth as you do take a look and take a quiet time. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. This is where like addictions can get in, because you may not want to address what's really going on in the core wounds, and you may not really want to heal them because it could be a lot of work. There could be a lot of fears surrounding it. It could be just so deep entrenched in you that you don't think it's possible to even change. But I'm here to tell you that you can, and it can be a fast process. And working with a coach, like soul stuff, can really work wonders, because we can access a lot of the damage that was done at the subconscious level without dredging up a lot of painful memories. And I really don't believe that that's healthy all the time. So you can work with a coach, or you can do it the long, hard way, like I had to do, where I just really had to address every situation and circumstances I was in, or every deep feeling I was feeling of failure, of fear, of anger and rejection, abandonment issues, like asking myself, why do I feel that? Why did that happen? And what can I do about it? I'm really introspective that way, but not everyone is, and that where as a coach could really get helpful. But if you're willing to do the work and to address, like, why am I feeling so angry right now? Why am I feeling so resentful? Why am I feeling so alone or afraid or worried or abandoned or rejected, you will start to see that you are connected. I have more in common with others than I realize. I see commonality with people rather than focusing on outward differences. I am connected. When you start to get really real that everything around you actually is kind of like a mirror, it's like a reflection of what's really going on in your inner world. You may attract people and relationships into your life that will show you, that will be a mirror to you of unhealed wounds. And a lot of times, like soulmates, are kinds of agreements that our soul made to learn lessons, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad and good, or although some of those soul connections can be really, really toxic, because they really address unhealed wounds in us, and really believe that the more toxic the situation, the more unhealed wounds that are really you have. And it may not even just be from your memories of your childhood and right now. If you don't believe in like past lives, it could just be generationally passed on from your parents and kind of trapped into your DNA, and programming that has been running for so long, like software running basically for so long, that has been unaddressed. So are you willing? Am I willing? Are we willing? When I say you, this is just as much for me, because like I said, I'm already doing a lot of this work. I've already done a lot of this work, and now I really believe I'm being led to teach others how to transform and heal traumas and wounds at the soul level, to be able to help you have a better experience in the physical realm and emotionally, and attract better partners and situations and more money, and getting in a line of work that has more purpose for you. And that's a slow process. I'm not quite there yet, and I follow a lot of like spiritual teachers and mentors and stuff like that, and they do these card readings, and the cards are not magical. They're just really to help guide you. If you really were to ask, like, okay, what do I need to learn today to help me on my journey, or like get me insights for today. That's what you're basically doing. You're just basically asking your subconscious, like your higher realms of consciousness of your own self, to guide you and teach you, which we all have the ability to do. Some of us don't know how to do that and need to learn how to do that. You are on the edge of something great. Can you feel it? Yes, there is risk, uncertainty, and imperfections ahead. Failure is certain, and vulnerability is a requirement. You must be brave and trust yourself more than ever before. You will reach the dream, but you must stretch yourself into a whole new level of belief and willingness in order to move forward with courage. Today's soul action: be brave. Follow your heart's compass and lift the lid on your own dreams. Today's mantra: it's possible. So it's kind of interesting because if you may, I don't know, like I just feel I'm on the edge of something different. I don't know if it's going to be great. I hope it is. I have lots of aspirations, and I believe that we oftentimes tell ourselves that we are not going to be able to have what we want. We're not going to ever be able to have joy. We're never going to be able to have peace. That's just not in the cards for us, and that is not true. All of us, it's in the cards for all of us, and it is going to be risky to go towards that because it may require leaving behind things, situations, people, old ways of being. And that is scary. I mean, and like, even for me, doing these card pulls, a lot of the people that I watch, like, they'll shuffle and pull the cards like right there in the video, and I am not ready to do that yet. I'm scared of that. I'm scared of making a mistake, or the wrong card coming out, or just looking like a fool. I don't know. So I'm not doing that. And I'm like, I had to realize, like, yeah, but I still want to do this, and it's okay if I don't shuffle the cards. Whoever said that you had to shuffle the cards? If you know me, I'm a pretty honest, straightforward person. I wear my heart on my sleeve. So you just need to trust me that I already did shuffle these cards, and the ones that came out, I really knew in my mind what I needed to do. I was actually going to do something on synchronicities, but I really asked yesterday, like, okay, would there be a topic that would be really helpful to learn? And I kind of just wait to get the guidance, and I really feel led to talk about this today. It came really, really strong, and these cards are just all really coming out really strong and fast, and I do believe they are all tied together, and I will help weave the story as I go here. So I can be long-winded. If it's too much for you, just hop on, take a break, or trust that you can push the button forward or back and know that you'll get with the guidance you need. If you only have a few minutes, that's fine too. Trust that. But the thing is that I found interesting about this card, it says failure is certain. So why, it's like, wow, most people don't take risks because they don't want to fail. And it's basically telling you, forging ahead in a new path, failure is certain. Now that doesn't mean I don't think that means the whole thing is going to fail, but you probably will fail along the way. Like, even as I do this, sometimes I feel like upset after I do a video because I feel bossy. Like, I feel like, oh man, I was really bossy in that because I'm a firstborn, I'm an Aries, and kind of used to, like, taking charge and, ask my sisters, when we would play, I would be, play teacher or whatever. I had to be the teacher. No one else could be the student. It was just the way it went. And, like, I can be bossy, probably. And I'm not trying to be. I just have a lot to share and really feel strongly that this is my calling to help lead. So if it comes across as bossy, please forgive me. I'm working on that. So even with me, I've failed too. And I know a lot of people look at me like I'm so strong and so brave, but you guys don't see all the days that I'm not posting videos. I'm going through some things. I'm going trenching through on my own journey and having some tower moments and like dark nights of the soul. And if you don't know what that is, that's totally different than depression. Look it up. But so needed for your growth, because every time you release a wound, heal a wound, address a wound, and are willing to take action towards new change, you raise your vibe. And as you raise your vibe, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to head into new territory. I'm terrified of the kinds of things I'm feeling led to be doing, like the spiritual work. I'm terrified of it because I really honestly believe that I was kind of shushed. I talk a lot, and a lot of people don't want to hear what I have to say, and that's fine. But I didn't know at the time that I had a lot to say and needed to just channel it in the right way with who was ready to receive it, and it wasn't the right time for me to maybe explore that. But like, I'm trying to take new action toward not being shushed and not allowing fears of, oh my gosh, like, I'm not going to shuffle the cards in front of everybody. I'm going to look like a fool. I'm trying to go forward and taking action and not being shushed and heal that wound of feeling unheard that I allowed myself to be unheard in relationships and people, and then, quieting myself and then not having good boundaries, and then feeling resentful of the fact that I couldn't be honest about how I feel. So I'm working on that. So I'm working on speaking up and honoring my gifts and knowing that communication is a big deal to me. And I have a lot of really great things to share, I feel, if for the people that are wanting to hear it. So I'm doing it afraid, and I have failed, and it's uncertain and it's risky. But it gets to a point where, yeah, but that risk, that fear of failure becomes less scary than not doing it. I don't know if anybody else is in that place or been in that place that it's like, you know that you need to honor your feelings to create growth amidst the discomfort. Like the discomfort of staying stuck almost becomes more painful than the discomfort of going forward. If anybody's in that space, this is who this is for. This is about healing those wounds. Why are you wanting to stay stuck? Who are you allowing to take your power? How have you allowed yourself to stay small? Why do you feel like you have no choices? Why did you give your power away? You know, all along, that could have started in your childhood, could have been programming from even before that, trapped in your DNA at a physical level. That does happen. But as you release the traumas, and if you don't know how to do that, I'm learning that it's not just about imagining it and praying for it, although that is really important, but actually taking actions. If you know, like, okay, in the past you have given your power away to people that took advantage of you or that didn't see you, okay, then you need to start taking small baby step actions towards being seen, standing in your power, taking a stand for yourself, really, really small, even if it's just your partner and you are just arguing about the nasty old bath towels that have been there for 20 years and you want to get new bath towels and they don't want you to. You know, it's like standing in your power and making that decision that you are going to do that. Like, it can be just really small things, but making choices. I really just believe that you can't heal wounds just by thinking about them and contemplating them, which was where I stayed stuck for a really long time of just thinking about them. But cycling through those things doesn't really heal. And the course that I'm in right now and learning how to be, you know, being a practitioner in this work of like, it's action. And also, and on being aware of what those wounds are, I can really help you uncover that if you need help with that. But if you're willing to go deep, trust that you will uncover. If you really are ready to uncover layer by layer the unhealed wounds and traumas, you can get that insight too, just like I had to do. You don't need a practitioner or somebody to help you with that, but a mentor can really, really be helpful to guide you and hold your hand along the way and help encourage you to take new action. The Rebel deck card, here we go. If you are pissed at where you're at, stop taking yourself there. Make better effing choices. Okay, this deck just gets right to the point. Zero filter, zero Fs, but it's fun too. If you're pissed at where you're at, if you're uncomfortable, if you're angry, if you're frustrated, if you're worried or scared, ask yourself why. Why am I so scared to speak up? Why am I so scared to stand in my power? Why am I so worried about taking that job that I know I'm gonna love? Like, what is it going on in your life right now that you need to make better choices in? And a choice is action. A decision is just thinking about something. You know, I'm gonna decide to do that, but a choice is taking new action. So stop taking yourself there. You are allowing it. It's the truth of the matter is you are allowing it. At some point along the way, somebody said something to you, took your power away, and you decided, yep, that person, I am powerless. I am weak. I am unseen. You make decisions. I mean, we're little. We don't know. We're just little kids. We don't know the ways of the world and like things like that. But now that we're adults, this is for adults, okay? And I can actually do this work on children as well, and people that have even passed away. Souls, any soul, you know, that we can do, I can help do this work on. But in the meantime, you're an adult. You can look back on your life and situations you've been in and like, oh man, yeah, that person did that to me. My mom did that to me. My dad did that to me. That my friend did that to me. That teacher said that to me. And I decided that what they said or did to me was true. And I gave them my power. And then every relationship thereafter, until that wound is healed, if you stay in a state of like, it's like programming running that I can help you find out, but it's like programming running of powerlessness, victimness, suffering, like vows of suffering, vows of silence, things like that, where you vowed, I'm going to stay powerless for that other person to keep the harmony, to keep the peace, because my true self may not be accepted, or whatever it is. You decided that. You made that choice that, yep, I'm not going to fight that anymore. That is true. I am powerless. I am weak. I am to this, to that. And then that programming keeps running throughout your life, all these relationships that you have. That I am going to get rejected, that I am really going to get abandoned, that no one would really want the real me, like I'm not really lovable. Whatever it is, that programming keeps running. And I mean, I really believe things can get toxic, and it's not necessarily a bad or good thing, as I'm learning though. It's like the vibration rate that you're running that programming at. You are at a certain vibration rate with that pain. And if you can heal that pain and release that pain, you raise up, and then your environment around you changes by you addressing childhood wounds. I know that's like really foo-foo, but you can learn to detach. Detachment You are releasing old patterns and ideas that no longer serve your highest ideals of love. And this is painful. Detaching from this is painful because it's been your crutch. Hanging on to, oh, I'm a victim, I'm powerless, I'm never gonna be able to do this, never be able to do that, I'm never really gonna do, I'm not lovable. Hanging on to that is what's like the crutch that you've given yourself to not go towards then relationships that are more loving, or not go towards that job where you know, may feel more fulfilled, or standing up to people in your life that keep you powerless. Like, it keeps you kind of in that victim state if you think about it. So like I said, often our path is the one we don't feel prepared to walk, and it can feel difficult, but we're really being encouraged today to walk it anyways. Often what is rising feels far bigger than we could possibly. I don't know, it's like paper got torn. I don't know what that says. Rising feels bigger than possibly what we could understand. Be a container for it anyways. Often our creation seems to have a wild and controllable consciousness of their own, but birth them anyways, because it is true. You are releasing new pathways of growth and energy when you clear those blocks. It's like going through a forest with a machete, like, and all the trees in your way, it will lead you into clearer path, and of like what you couldn't see before you can now see as you clear that away. It's like, it may seem out of control and wild and unpredictable, but it's really not. It's like things that you've chosen to allow to block you from receiving all that in the first place. Often what we're being led to do is the very thing that most intimidates us. Yeah, that is so true. But be courageous and do it anyway. I'm encouraging you. Today is the day. Transition beyond old cycles and let them fall away, and the new cycles can begin. We're here to be releasing old identities and ways that no longer serve us, using our intuition as a compass. I really believe that. And that gets into the synchronicities, to allowing yourself to be guided along the way with synchronicities. I will do a video on that probably next. But today's the exact time. Today's the exact time to even just take one small step in addressing one wound. Like, why am I angry? Why am I frustrated? Why do I feel like I don't have a choice on the matter? Why do I feel so powerless? And do I keep telling myself I can't change? Is it a crutch because I'm scared to move forward? It's time to give ourselves permission and space for what is beckoning within to be born. Dream a new world into being that delights your body, mind, and soul. This last card is birthing a new age. Birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into beginning. Dreaming a new world into being. Yeah, if you got that inner nudging, and if you are going through a real dark time, dark night of the soul is like a soul experience of like really realizing it's time to address old patterns and programming and wounds. Sorry, this is going so long. I really mean to like really keep like one topic, and I feel like I have done that, but it's still really long, but that's okay. Maybe I need to release the worry that it's too long. I mean, some of their things are like over an hour and a half to 2 hours. So, and I just, they have a lot of information to share that is really helpful. So instead of being angry at that, like, oh my God, their video is so long, I just trust, I'm going to just zip through what I need to. And if I fall asleep listening to it, I'll just trust and know that whatever I needed to hear was meant for me to hear, and not be angry at them and put judgment on them, and then ask myself, why am I mad about that? Well, I'm allowing myself to think that about people. It's like the real issue is me. If I were to think that. I don't, but I mean, if you're thinking that real issue could be address why you get so irritated about that. Can't you just trust I'm doing my job, you do you, and we're all connected, and you can learn what you need and toss what you don't, and just have peace in that. You don't need to let it create any strife or negativity. So, angel card, live your joy. You may not be feeling joy right now. That image is just like very free and open, but she's got wings on, she's flying, she's got support. And there's a moon there too. And moon is all about illusion. So I'm thinking this image really helps us think that we will be able to be free and live our joy when we really face the illusions in our life, and we take off the masks that we're wearing and really be honest with ourselves with what we want. We know what we want. If we're telling ourselves, I don't really know what I want, I have no choice. Is that really true? We usually do. We usually do really know deep down what we really want, and we are usually lying to ourselves and everyone all around us. And if you really don't want to look at that and continue to stay numb, that's your choice too. So your guardian angel's encouraging you to follow your heart at this time. Do what makes your heart sing, do what makes you smile, do what makes you dance and rejoice. Living your joy is so important. It is truly your only purpose here. I'm going to repeat that. Living your joy is so important. It truly is your only purpose here. We are really here to create our own experience. We're not meant to be walking someone else's path for us. A lot of times the person that everyone wants us to be isn't somebody who we even really want to be or who we even like. And we play that part for everyone else to see. And we got to really ask ourselves, do I really want to play that part that everyone wants me to play? Do I really want to still stay stuck in my old way? Do I really want to keep attracting those painful experiences or experiences that aren't really true to me, that I feel violated in? Or do I want to be real about what I really want and what I'm being led to do and what I know in my deep inner knowing? If you're wondering what you're supposed to do with your life, this card is showing you that you are to choose the pathway that is filled with joy and happiness. That's it. It is the key to inner peace, which is what I was talking about. If you find yourself sad and drained at the moment, take some time to do what makes you feel alive. Whether it be a hobby or simply spending time with a loved one, you are being encouraged to do it now. Anything that makes you feel blessed, filled with energy, and alive is your joy. And today is the day to live your joy. When you do this, you will draw positive and loving experiences into your life that will wash away the darkness. Exactly what I was saying. And it can just be a small step. Like maybe it's just time to take one small step. You know, speaking up to somebody that doesn't like you, to do your own thing. Like, you know what, I am going to take that class. And you don't have to like it, but I'm going to do that for me. Maybe it is, I'm going to buy myself a new bra because you're so used to giving everything to everyone else that you don't ever take the time to address your own needs. And that bra that you've been wearing has really been bothering you. Buy yourself a new bra. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering, although sometimes it is, but a lot of times those little small steps along the way lead to bigger purposes, which is what I've experienced. And if anyone else has experienced, I'd love for you to comment below. But today is the day to live your joy. I thought there was one thing. Okay, being sad and drained at the moment is usually a sign that you're not stepping into your power. You're not doing what makes you feel alive. You're not honoring yourself. You're not being true to who you really are. And that's sad and draining, but it's because you allowed it. You allowed that. And that can be really depressing too, to know, wow, I really just allowed so much of this to get out of whack. And it could be really daunting to think about your whole world changing, but it could just really start with one small step towards addressing your core wounds. And sometimes there's a lot of them and you need to address one by one. What is the most thing that's really making you sad and drained and angry at the moment? What is the one thing? If it's you're not being able to speak your truth, then address that first and start speaking your truth. And you gotta release the attachment, like really detach. It said detach to the expectation that other people need to like your truth. You're here to live your own truth. Not everybody has to agree and totally 100% be on board with what you want to do. That's okay. They're there to live their experience. Everybody's vibing at a different rate, and sometimes that is going to require like releasing old patterns in people as you change and grow. And you don't have to change and grow. That's your choice. You have free will, but you'll stay stuck. And that sad, drained feeling, you're not going to be able to continue to keep numbing that away forever. It's going to keep gnawing at you. So address what is your main thing right now, possibly. All of us need to face. What's your main thing right now that you need to look at? And drop the mask, drop the illusion, stop numbing out, like really get real with that. Where you're coming from on that. And then start taking some small actions to lead to bigger actions. And as you continue to keep clearing that way, the path will become more and more clear. Trust me on that. I've experienced it myself, and I'm so fascinated by how healing and freeing it is to really release one by one and really be honest that I did it. I allowed myself to believe that, which caused me to attract that, which caused me now to feel angry and resentful. And the real person that is, needs to fix it is me. So I'm encouraging you today that not today's the day. Life is a playground. You don't have to see everything is so daunting and draining and depressing. It's just time to create something new. That's all. Releasing old identities really can, your ego can really resist it, though. It can feel really draining because your ego wants you to hold on. Your mind is the only job is to protect you, so it's going to fight you on your decision to free yourself, and you are going to feel resistance, and that's okay. It's okay to feel that. It's totally normal. But as you do that, there's a release then. Like, imagine yourself like as a balloon, like just totally filling, the pressure is just so building into the point where you can either wait for your balloon to pop and explode and be really traumatic, or you can just slowly let a little air out at a time to release some of that pressure and start making small changes to release and relieve some of that pressure. It's up to you. If you don't, you can only create, that balloon can only fill up so much before it's just gonna pop and your world's just gonna explode, which sometimes we as humans do. We wait until it's so far gone that it's like a major tornado. But I'm going to tell you right now, doing this work doesn't mean everything is going to get perfect in your life. People are magically going to fix, and do what you want them to do or be who they want to be. No, they are all vibing at their own rate and have their own experience too. But I can tell you right now, how I feel right now is that there are still tornadoes all around me. There's, dynamics with people, relationship dynamics with people that are still very toxic, that I can't fully release from. Things at home, on the home front, and relationships and business and career that feel like that if I were to look at it, it still looks like stormish, okay? But what's happening with me now is like I'm standing strong and firm and still as all this is going on around me, because I've grown and changed and healed, and I've freed myself from the attachment from the storms, I guess, and I'm sustained true to who I am and what I believe, and standing strong in my own integrity and healing my own wounds and worrying only about me and my journey and what I need to do in that moment, and stop worrying so much about me trying to control that other person or wishing they would do that for me or whatever. Like you do that. I respect that's your place, but here's what I'm gonna do in this situation. And I'm gonna pull my energy and my time and my resources away from chaos in my life. I had this conversation with somebody about this yesterday. Like somebody brought to my attention like something and they wanted my help with something, but when they didn't get their way from me, they threw a giant fit and created a lot of chaos and drama for me. So I chose to respect that person. I said, I see that you want my help with this, but because you chose chaos as how you approached me and handled the conversation with me and weren't willing to listen to my side, it was not a calm, peaceful thing. I'm choosing to pull back my energy and my time and my resources from you. You can do what you want to do. I'm just not gonna have any involvement in helping participate in that. And it wasn't a big thing. I'm just saying it could sometimes be big things, but that is a choice you do have, to not feel powerless against that person. You can't control necessarily what they're doing or fix it, but you can vibe at a different rate. And that is sometimes what happens. Like I'm noticing like me and this individual now, we're just vibing totally different. We're having a lot of power struggles, a lot of fights, like not seeing eye to eye because I'm at a different rate, not better or worse. I'm just changing and healing and growing. And so I'm just at a different place and they're at a different place. And they would prefer to, use kind of power and manipulation and control to kind of get what they want. And I don't. I want to empower people and I want to transform and heal and I don't want to have chaos anymore. I want to have peace and calm and loving, healthy relationships. And we're just at a different place. And that person and I may need to not have as much involvement so that they can go and heal and learn what the lessons they need to do. Maybe our time together is done. I learned what I needed to learn from it. And I were to be together and, time to teach each other lessons, but I'm deciding not to continue that connection in that way anymore, and I'm going to go this way, and that's okay, and that's doesn't need to be a sad thing. I mean, it can feel like that because it just can feel like, oh my God, like you're tell yourself that it's not okay for you to sever ties or energetically cut, or pull your energy away from people that you love, so it just I feel like it just can change. So I'm just at a different place, and I really come to like peace and calm and happy and joy, and I really don't like all that drama and that chaos. And a lot of times people that are really working on themselves are like allergic to drama. So a lot of times we can be addicted to the drama though because it keeps us trapped in our pain. And honestly, another factor of it is like sometimes we're really just afraid to experience joy. We're afraid to that it's going to be taken away because maybe we've always had that happen to us, but that doesn't need to be the story that you keep telling yourself. Like you can have joy, and it's meant for you. You don't need to stay stuck in that belief that you can have that, and the way to experience that the best is by just trying it out, trying going forward, and honestly, that doesn't even need. If this picture of this somebody being like seems like so far-fetched, maybe your goal isn't to have this kind of bliss and joy. Maybe it's just to have freaking peace for a whole 24 hours straight, or a week or a month, and when you start to like live like that, where you've detached from all that chaos and that drama and things that don't serve you, and those programs running. When you detach from it, it's like kind of like painful to rip away from it, but then there's peace after that. Like I said, the machete, there's like a clearing then where the sunshine is shining, and you can just live in that then, and that's your new reality. And then maybe joy is like something that to be fulfilled after you continue with peace for a while, you know? And then you can start to see the joy. Like maybe it's just like baby steps. Like first you just need to get out of the drama and the chaos. Then you can just try to learn what it feels like to live in peace for a little while and not have your, you know, shit happening all around you every minute of the day. Maybe you need to get used to that then. And then you can start really discovering your bliss and your joy. That's what has happened to me. That is what's happened to me. If I look back on it, that is really, it's happened to me. Now I'm starting to see joy is my birthright and like success. And like, that's what I'm headed towards now. Before it was just more peace, learning how to like have peace. And then, you know, this and like standing in my power and like things like that. Like it's in stages. So dreaming big is great, but sometimes the reality is, okay, first I just need to like have peace. And maybe it means I need to move to a new house or like get away from that friend or whatever it is to be able to have peace back in my life again, so I can freaking think clearly, so I can surrender to the freaking silence and not have drama and chaos and these gloomy clouds are all around me, and I can sit and be quiet with myself and really enter into the stillness to heal one by one and replenish myself. So life's a playground, and on that playground, it's true, there's going to be times where you fall and you get bruised and bumped, you know. And it's funny because I when I was little, I fell off of a monkey bars, and I dreamed and dreamed of being able to hang upside down like the girls, like I always saw to do. And I did one time, and I fell, and I fell on my face, and I got a bump on my nose still. It's like, whoa, that probably kind of shocked me not to take risks, not to I never really thought about that, but like I was wanting that so bad, and then I failed, and I decided never to try again. I had never ever tried again, and I made that decision to never try again because of one failure. And if I would have thought, ooh, that, you know, after I healed from that, I could have decided to try again. I didn't though. So not that that's a big deal. This is a very, you know, juvenile example, but how often do we do that? We do try, and then we fail, and we shrink back, and then we don't ever try it again. Maybe now's the time to know that life is a playground, and it can be really fun, and it can be really risky, but every day is a new day to play, and to find more peace and more joy. And maybe I was hanging out with friends that were peer pressuring me. Maybe I needed to find a new batch of friends. I don't really know why I made the decision, but my soul made the decision. So maybe I need, you know, there's some reason why your experience on the playground isn't very enjoyable. It could just be changing a new batch of friends. It could be just, you know what, monkey bars is not my thing. You know, I'm gonna go on the swings. You know, that's probably why I really love the swings now. I probably was like, ooh, yeah, that's not my thing. I'm gonna play, but not on that. Okay, so now I'm gonna just go on the swings. Which is why I still love the swings today. I do love swinging with my kids still. It's like healing the inner child. Do things that heal your inner child today. Go swing on the swings if you want. Go bake a batch of chocolate chip cookies if it reminds you of your grandma. Have something warm and cozy in a mug that reminds you of happy times in your childhood. Do that today. Life is a playground. Have a great day. I hope this helped somebody out there. Take what resonates and have an awesome day. I hope this helped you create a little more Zen today. Bye.